You're standing on the deck of a ship in the middle of the Pacific. The sun is setting, the sea is calm, and the horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. Beneath you lies a world so vast, so alien, and so unexplored that we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about what's down there. Today, we're going to take a dive, not just a quick swim, but a journey from the glittering surface all the way to the deepest point on Earth. 1. The average depth. Your feet press into the warm sand. Grains shift and squeak under your toes. This is the intertidal zone, where land and ocean wrestle for control. Tiny sandpipers dash back and forth, timing their runs between the waves. Bits of seaweed, driftwood, and seashells decorate the edge like nature's lost and found. Here, life has to survive. Both wet and dry crabs scuttle into burrows before the gulls swoop, mussels cling to rocks, and barnacles slam shut at the first sign of air. Every wave redraws the boundary between earth and ocean. Wading in, the water wraps around your ankles, then your knees. The shock of coolness makes your skin tingle. Beneath the surface, darting shadows reveal small fish, mullet, anchovies, perhaps a curious juvenile snapper. Sunlight hits the sandy bottom, painting ripples of light that sway with the waves. The water is alive with sound, the snap of shrimp claws, the whisper of sand shifting with the current. In this zone, predators and prey are only centimeters apart, hidden in the greenish-blue haze. When you think of the ocean, you might picture shallow blue waters lapping against a beach, but that's just the tiniest sliver of the story. Across the entire planet, the average depth of the ocean is about 3,688 meters. That's over 12,000 feet, or about 2.3 miles straight down. If you drained the oceans completely and stood at the average seafloor, you'd be looking up at a sky of water thicker than the tallest mountains most people will ever climb. To put that into perspective, imagine stacking 10 Eiffel Towers on top of each other. You'd still fall short. And that's just the average. Like mountains, the seafloor has peaks, ridges, and trenches that make some areas far deeper than others. 2. The trenches. Now the water rises higher, pulling and pushing with each swell. The bottom feels less secure. Sand shifts, shells crunch underfoot. A shadow passes below, a stingray gliding, almost invisible, until it flaps its wings and vanishes in a cloud of dust. Here you might meet shoals of fish that move as one, twisting and shimmering like liquid silver. You start to feel the weight of the ocean, a reminder that it's not just scenery but a living force. You push beyond the breaking waves. The crash and roar behind you give way to gentle swells. You're floating now, carried up and down like a leaf. The seafloor drops, and with it, the feeling of safety. This is where larger animals roam, sea turtles rising for air, dolphins cutting through the water with effortless grace. Every direction is blue, but the blue ahead is darker, hinting at the depths to come. Now let's talk about where things get extreme: the deep ocean trenches. These underwater valleys form where tectonic plates collide and one plate is pushed beneath another. Over millions of years, they've carved chasms that plunge miles into darkness. The deepest known point is the Challenger Deep, located in the Mariana Trench in the western Pacific Ocean. This place is nearly 10,984 meters deep, about 36,037 feet, or close to 7 miles below the surface. If you took Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on land, at 8,849 meters, and placed it in the Challenger Deep, its peak would still be more than a mile underwater. Here's a mind-bending fact: only a handful of people have ever visited it in person. More humans have walked on the moon than have reached this point on Earth. 3. What lives down there? If you're lucky, the next stage is a reef or kelp bed. The world bursts into color: corals in reds, yellows, and purples, anemones swaying like dancers, and clouds of fish weaving through coral towers. In kelp forests, golden fronds stretch upward like underwater trees, creating shadowed corridors. Sea otters use these fronds as hammocks, while leopard sharks glide lazily between them. Here, everything is about territory. Every rock, every crevice is claimed by something. It's the most bustling neighborhood of the ocean. Then, suddenly the world falls away. The reef ends, the sandy slope steepens, and the water ahead is an open, dark wall. You've reached the continental shelf's edge. The depth below you can plummet from 100 meters to more than 1,000 in a single drop. Pelagic predators cruise here: tuna built for speed, barracuda with silver torpedoes for bodies, and if you're lucky, the enormous silhouette of a passing whale shark. The light fades faster here. The blue deepens to indigo. You might think nothing could survive in such crushing darkness, but life is stubborn. Down here, water pressure is more than 1,000 times greater than at the surface. Temperatures hover just above freezing. Sunlight never penetrates, yet in this alien world, strange creatures thrive. There are translucent fish with see-through skin, shrimp that feed on the rain of organic material drifting down from above, and microorganisms that survive by eating chemicals instead of sunlight-grown food. Every submersible that has dared to descend into the deep has returned with footage of something we've never seen before. The deep ocean is a constant reminder. Earth's final frontier isn't in space, it's right here beneath our feet. For the descent. This is the pelagic zone, a place with no visible bottom or shore. It can feel both freeing and terrifying. Out here, life is scattered, drifting jellyfish like crystal chandeliers, schools of mackerel flashing in synchronized arcs. This is the domain of giants, blue whales, the largest animals ever to live, and pods of dolphins that treat the open sea as a playground. Survival here means constant motion, following invisible highways of current and temperature. Descend further and sunlight weakens. The water turns cold. Shapes become silhouettes, and colors drain into blues and grays. This is the mesopelagic zone, the twilight zone. Strange creatures drift here. Lanternfish with glowing spots, squid that can flash like strobes, and hatchetfish with mirror sides to vanish from predators below. This is also the stage where vertical migration happens. Billions of animals rise toward the surface at night to feed, then sink back into the darkness at dawn. Imagine we're in a research submersible. We leave the sunlit surface, watching the blue fade to darker shades. After just 200 meters, the last rays of sunlight vanish. This is the midnight zone, eternal darkness. Bioluminescent creatures blink in the distance like underwater stars. We keep sinking. At 4,000 meters, we're in the abyssal zone, where the pressure is so intense it could crush a car instantly. The temperature is near freezing, yet life clings to existence. Finally, we reach the trench. At nearly 11 kilometers down, we're sitting in the deepest known natural place on the planet. It's quiet, a landscape of mud, strange ridges, and life forms adapted to an environment humans can barely comprehend. The ocean is more than just a backdrop to our planet. It's a massive, living, and largely unexplored realm that shapes our climate, drives our weather, and holds secrets we've only begun to uncover. The average depth reminds us of the ocean's scale. The Challenger Deep reminds us of its extremes. And the life that exists down there proves that nature finds a way, no matter how impossible the conditions seem. We often dream about exploring distant worlds, but maybe, just maybe, the greatest adventure is waiting for us right here, under the waves. Please help subscribe, like, and share to get new videos every day.